We are the Rice Reapers, Jackson, Matt, George, Bala, and Nathan, and we are representing Rice University at this year's TMS Bladesmithing competition. As first-time forgers, we are proud to present our very first work, the Talon of Athenia. The hand-forged carbon steel blade testifies to our capable forging skills, with marks of each hammer blow creating a visible proof. We also chose an elegant silver-black color palette via coffee etching for our blade and black aluminum anodization for our guard and pommel, complemented by the black carbon fiber grip. The Talon of Athenia showcases both our newfound technical forging experience and Rice University's forward-looking perspective in material science.
Early on, we concluded that the Talon would be forged entirely by hand. This meant that we would not only have to devote time to forming our blade, but also to learning the complex art of blacksmithing from very little prior experience. Because of this, we decided to use a single length of 1095 steel. The dark etching steel fits well with our black and silver color scheme and has an excellent reputation as a strong blade material. After selecting our steel and purchasing all of the equipment, all that was left was to take the anvil and show what we learned. First, we drew an 18-inch stock to our desired length of 26 inches. Drawing out our quarter-inch thick stock to a 44% increase in length took many hours and shows the prowess we attained in hand forging. We then shaped the profile using an angle grinder and bandsaw. We quenched the blade by heating it above its ostentatizing temperature of approximately 850 degrees Celsius for 12 minutes and cooling it in warm canola oil. The blade was then heat treated in an oven for two 2-hour periods at 255 to 263 degrees Celsius.
We removed the remaining mill scale with an angle grinder, stripping disc, and vinegar bath. We decided to leave the hammer marks visible on the final piece to accentuate that our steel was hand drawn and to give an aesthetic texture to the spine of the blade. We finally prepared to etch our blade by successively wet sanding with 400, 600, and 800 grit paper by hand. The blade and tang were then twice submerged in aqueous ferric chloride for 10 minutes and then rinsed and submerged in 65C coffee for 40 minutes. This process gave our dark etching 1095 blade a beautiful and sturdy black coloring.
The Talon of Athenia honors Rice University's owl mascot by featuring an intricate owl design on the pommel and guard. We chose to construct the pommel from cast aluminum because the silver color was essential for our color palette, and aluminum scrap was an accessible and sustainable raw material. The pommel was made via lost PLA casting. A publicly available 3D model of an owl head was printed in PLA plastic, surrounded in plaster, and melted to leave a perfectly shaped negative mold within the plaster. Molten aluminum, sustainably sourced from makerspace scrap and soda cans, was poured into the mold. The cast was simple and clean, and resulted in perfectly detailed owl heads that exceeded our expectations.
Wow, that held up better than I expected. That's very encouraging.
The guard was also constructed from aluminum to match the color palette of the pommel. Aesthetically, the piece was made to look like the wings of an owl to complement the owl head. The outline of our guard was cut out from a 6061 aluminum sheet with a water jet. We debossed the feathery wing pattern by submerging the aluminum in a mix of hydrochloric acid and hydrogen peroxide, using spray paint to protectively mask the select surfaces we wanted to preserve. We then forged the guard from the flat sheet into a proper C shape to fit around the handle.
Our last step was to color the pommel and guard black via anodization. Both aluminum pieces were carefully polished, cleaned, and etched before being placed in a sulfuric acid bath and anodized with a current of 94 milliamps per square inch. The anodization process created a thin nanoporous aluminum oxide layer on the surface of each piece. These pores were filled with black aluminum anode dye and then sealed by boiling the pieces. The resulting matte black finish is vivid, consistent, and resistant to both abrasion and corrosion. Finally, silver detailing was added by selectively polishing away the black anode. Combines, the pommel and handguard evoke Rice's stalwart owl mascot, vigilantly guarding the wielder's hand from injury.
Finally, our hilt is constructed out of carbon fiber pieces suspended in epoxy. We decided on this not just for the black color consistency, but also to demonstrate an alignment with Rice University as we continue to explore nanoscale material science, which has become a key pillar of the research done at our institution. In order to make this epoxy, there are 2 layers of epoxy cast and shaped into an ergonomic grip, assembled around the tang using 2 pins. Our resulting sword demonstrates both bladesmithing technique and artisanal craftsmanship, from the hand-forged blade to the detailed pommel and careful color selection. As first-time forgers, we are incredibly proud to have overcome the technical and logistical challenges we have faced thus far. With this newfound knowledge and experience under our belts, we are better equipped to not only navigate forging, but other difficult engineering problems that we will face in our future education and careers.